be able to do the blacksmithing, and a new player can just like...
A new player could just be a coal farmer. Is what I'm expecting you. Once again, what do you think he's going to say?
That's kind of...
A new player could just spend their 5-hour game session gathering coal.
More to it. Surely he's not just like he's deciding him as a coal farmer. No.
I think that'd be hilarious if he says it. I'll be like, you know what? I'm signing up. Because I think he'd be honest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so the value of a new player is basically the thing they'll just mindlessly farm for the guild. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, you're honest. Okay, so let's go back.
Thing, and a new player can just like immediately after signing up, you can get them to your home, give them an axe, show how to cut down the tree, how to bring the wood to a kiln, and that's immediately valuable for the guild as something that new players can do.
So another MMO that we're gonna just kind of like look at, react to, whatever. A lot of people have been mentioning this while I was trying out different games in New World. We looked at the day before, and we're gonna look at something called Pax Dei. People kept bringing it up, so I'm like, okay, might as well look at it. Unlike the day before, I didn't look too much into this one. And I asked people, like, the first thing I ask people when they bring up an MMO is, like, who made it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if they say like a Korean company I know or whatever, I'm like, nah. As a Korean, I did not recommend playing Korean MMOs. But okay, so it's called Pax Dei. I don't know if that's something, it's just like a random name they brought up with, or do they actually mean like, oh God, I forgot the root of this. Holy peace? I don't know. Something like that.
Mm.
Okay, so welcome to a vast social sandbox MMO inspired by the legends of the medieval era. Here, myths are real, ghosts exist, and magic is unquestioned. In this immense open world playground, you choose the role you want to play. That's what every MMO, I feel like, says. Immerse yourself along with thousands of other players as you explore the land, build your home, forge your reputation, and craft your own stories. It just kind of goes on, like the typical MMO kind of spiel about, oh, you know, your decisions matter, you can explore all you want. They do make a mention about like some of the crafting here, or like some of the systems in the game. You can skin animals or creatures, a basilisk. You can decide between war and peace, whatever that may mean. Maybe it's for PvP. Anna's in the chat, heard that before. Picking flowers, yeah, sure. I mean, again, a lot of MMOs. It all matters. In a fully player-driven economy, all play styles connect and complement each other. Again, you know, that's what a lot of MMOs attempt to do. I'd say it is an alpha. They are letting you, you know, subscribe to the alpha and sign up for playtesting. I don't know when it's going to be out. I don't know if I should sign up. Maybe I'll try it out. Who knows? There's an FAQ. There's currently no date set for Pax Dei's release. Pax Dei. It'll be available in English, French, and German. Unreal Engine 5. So I bet it probably looks beautiful. What is this? Oh, whoops. Hold on. If you're a content creator, journalist, or simply someone who's created someone, feel free to use what you see here. Yeah. Here's the official announcement thing. Is this the official announcement, or is this the official announcement? There's a Steam page for this game too. It looks like there are pictures. So look at the UI.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's straightforward. You got the the help key bindings here. You got, instead of the right corner, they went with the left corner.
Yeah, that's
it's
backwards for most.
Right. So I mean, it's whatever, but the UI is pretty simple. You get the health bar, you get the stamina, I'm assuming. You got housing. I mean, they really love housing these days, huh? It's a cottage wall. Looks like you have a total of 8 keys. It looks very similar to New World with especially the inventory icon being next to your hotkeys, but whatever. Yes, gear slots and what you can wear. You got jewelry, you have armor, you have weapons.
I mean, this is still in
Alpha.
very early development.
Right. I'm not shitting on it or anything. I'm just
No. I know. I'm just saying. Personally, I'm, I suppose, impressed with how much they have to show with it being so early in development.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the day before, or at least what they've shown, they've almost got as many customizations in alpha in this game compared to that game that's coming out this Thursday, which coincidentally coincides with the Game Awards. But yeah, so you got the customized appearance thing. The graphics look, it's Unreal Engine 5, so it looks great.
I like that little cottage. Look how cute it is on the water. It's cute.
Some kind of robust. Doesn't look like a dragon.
Like a dragon.
A bear. Why is it always a bear in these like artist screenshots to display like you against nature? Why is it always a bear? Why not like, I don't know, something else? Me?
Yeah, they
I'm not
should
part
have
of
like
nature.
you in nature.
Oh, look at the evening.
That's
There's
so
a
creepy.
day and night cycle
That's
thing.
cute.
Yeah, that's what they're displaying here.
Why couldn't it be a Yeti?
There's this is PvE, I'm assuming.
I'd assume.
Apparently this is made by a Swedish studio, not a Korean developer. Heraldry. This is very medieval based, like medieval European based.
I find that quite interesting, personally.
Why? You like medieval Europe?
I find it to be rather fascinating.
Okay, I think that's the end of the screenshots. I guess we'll look at the thing here. What did that say?
I missed it, to be honest.
Oh, even the smallest candle pierces the darkness of the sharpest blade. Sure, let's go with that. Oh, who said this? Why is it in quotes? Who said this? This is captured in engine.
This is where we belong. Exploring this vast and wondrous world. Its treasures call out to be discovered. Its ancient secrets beckon us ever deeper into the unknown. The further we journey from the safety of the light, the greater the rewards and the dangers. This world, it is for us. Here, together, we can build ourselves a home.
Okay. Social sandbox MMO. I wonder if there's more. There is this one, but I think, wait, this is the official announcement. I think it's different.
It's the
Okay. That's super loud, but whatever.
it's the game that many of us have been practicing throughout our professional careers to make.
Okay.
And that's why everyone on the team is building this game, because this is the game that we've been wanting to play for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this project for 20 years almost.
20 years, yeah.
We feel we're creating a common dream here, which is bigger than our own.
What did we talk about for 20 years? Oh, they've been developing for 20 years.
No, that's not what they
Pax
said.
Dei is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
much
yeah.
what you want it to be. It's a world. It's a place which is real, feels real. It's always there. but most importantly,
I love the
you're there
concept
with other
art.
people. And that's really what the sandbox is all about. It is about maximizing human interaction in a meaningful way. And we feel, this is the holy grail in MMO design.
I agree. I think player interactions are like
So the
top
name of
priority.
the game, Pax Dei, like we're calling it the Divine Peace.
Ah,
and
I
it's
knew it.
based on
Holy
around
peace,
the idea
divine
of the
peace,
way
whatever.
we're constructing the world is, as a new player, you start in what we're calling the Heartlands. So these are safe valleys in which you're allowed to build with your friends and form the communities.
Yeah,
and
build with
do
your
a lot of
friends.
crafting, have your villages in. And these are
Becca's
like
like,
the peaceful
"Oh,
areas
no.
that are
I don't want to
guaranteed.
build my boyfriend because he always messed up the ES.
Why did you think that?
I'm just saying, I do mess it up.
Oh my god.
Need to like not be very dangerous.
Ritz, oh my
So you only
god.
be in relative safety when you're in these areas.
Okay.
So we have modularity built
Yeah, you can
in
roleplay
how to do the
Vikings.
visuals of it.
Lagertha.
The good thing about doing it that way is that we also then give players and the crafting part of our game a lot of flexibility and customizability. And we're pushing this very, very far for Pax Dei.
For the player, we offer a character which has multiple different layers. So depending on what type of game you as a player want to play, you can combine these items which have specific stats.
The thing that I'm most proud about this game is the procedural costume and surface generator that I made for character art, which is a procedural way of controlling the metals and leathers in the game, how they behave and how they look.
All of it is meant to at least be to some extent historically accurate. It goes extremely in depth and it offers a lot of visual variety.
You can then choose to go on adventures and like exit the Heartlands and start go exploring and go to like PvE adventures that are much more dangerous and like experience PvP when you're outside the valleys and you're basically not protected by the Divine Peace.
What we have done is harvested a lot of myths and fables from stories around the world and implement them in our own way.
Magic is real. Ghosts are real. The extent of knowledge is not known. And this basically plays onto our built-in instincts as humans. We like home, we like cozy, but we're still curious about the darkness, and we also want to experience adventure and danger at some time.
There's more in this world than it might seem at first, and that also provides the sort of progression into the game. Like the further you head out, the increasing the dangers and also the rewards would be.
I think it will take a very long time if you want to really explore everything of the world. But yeah, it's going to be super big.
For Pax Dei, we're using Unreal Engine 5, and this allows us to do incredibly vast worlds in incredible details.
We have this semi-procedural approach where the human makes the interesting and important decisions and then the computer fills out the rest.
You can change things in a really large scale in a matter of seconds.
Striking that right balance between areas that are nice to play in, but have those cool views and epic views of the mountains.
Currently, we're focusing on the PC platform, and we're focusing on...
I'm thinking to myself when I saw that view, how does fall damage work?
Of course you are.
How does it work? Is it just instant death or?
Launching it on Steam. We're also working on multi-platform. We have the game working for other platforms, and we already have prototypes of that, but the current focus is the PC launch on Steam. The ultimate idea is that we want the game to be playable from any device. It's a way to casually engage with the game. You're maybe at work or or in the car, and it's very handy to be able to do this from any device, like a mobile device.
I have never owned a gaming PC,
well, like the Steam Deck,
and I have always admired the beautiful
I thought that would do with the phone. I'm like, the phone?
Get to experience, and this is my chance actually as a more casual gamer to join in on the fun together with the core MMO players, having my own little niche thing to do in the world of Pax Dei.
So if you're...
God, I hope it's not shit porting. I hope it's them actually developing for each like multi-platform if they really are serious about multi-platform, because man, I feel like if they say, okay, we're gonna make it for PC, but then port it to Xbox or PlayStation, that's just gonna hold the game back.
Like games that look similar, but like never experienced that in the context of MMOs, I'm hoping that this game is going to be the one for you that actually breaks the barrier and you want to join an MMO.
You know, it's both for very casual and very hardcore. And the beauty is when we have these two playstyles meet, that's where the magic happens, because they will need each other.
So experienced players can support new players, and new players can just get new gear and join their friends.
Why? I think that's what a lot of games or MMOs miss. Why should the experienced player help the new player? And you know, you could say, oh, you know, they should anyway to promote the sense of community and stuff, but a lot of people love incentive. And there's been proven cases in certain games where certain systems incentivize good behavior, especially in multiplayer games, where there's like proven to be less player incidents or reports of toxicity in those kind of incentivized systems.
Mm-hmm.
And when they said like, oh, you know, new players and hardcore players, I'm just like, okay, so what is going to connect them? Apart from grinding, right?
Right.
In an adventure.
As a solo player or as a casual player, you can provide like an incredible amount of value and kind of feed the market in your area, or like find the market that has some kind of need.
Sure.
You don't need to participate in the big drama. But the fact that there is big drama happening in the world gives the world the context. You know, you will see the soldiers, you know, going to war. You will feel it.
Everyone finds a role to play because everyone in the world of Pax Dei matters.
Really? Everyone? That's a very bold statement to make.
I got really excited about the game because I ran in the empty world. And I could imagine in my head, like at some point in years to come, all of these buildings will be built by somebody real, like an actual person. And that felt really nice. I want to be part of this, building this crazy world.
It's going to be a long journey. We view being the stagehands of Pax Dei as being more like a marathon rather than a single performance. And that's kind of the key to standing up a world like this and also creating the team around it.
We are incredibly excited to see how players will build, you know, civilizations up from, you know, the small house into the small villages, into the towns, into the cities, you know, building up the infrastructure for farming and craft.
So basically, from what I understand, the concept is there's this sanctuary, land of sanctuary, and players can build on it and rest there and whatever, not be attacked there.
Right.
And everything else outward is PvP, PvE, dangerous areas.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying you have to build from scratch. There's no starting town, no main hub. You have to build it on your server. I think that's really interesting. I think that's kind of similar to some of the concepts for Ash's creation.
Blacksmithing and alchemy and finding the resources and studying the magic.
Seeing things that we haven't even imagined so far.
It's pretty nice idea.
Any good MMO is to have an initial theory of how the game will evolve.
Oh my god, can you imagine some servers with this game? Like, not a lot of people have great skills in urban planning or, you know,
That's
like spacing.
That's true.
And then, like, what happens if the server fills up and like there's no more land to build stuff on? I wonder how they're gonna tackle that. Like, you know what I mean? Or is it like, does it grow
maybe you're like
with each population cap?
limited?
Oh, maybe. Sure.
Sure, like think about housing in ESO, you only have so many slots per house. Maybe there's only like so many plots
Right.
available.
Maybe it's account capped. I can't imagine
Yeah.
just letting players loose with this system because people will abuse it
Oh,
so hard. I just can't imagine a new player coming to this game eventually years down the line after the release, and then they can't build because it's all like full.
Right.
Man, the towns or whatever would be so messy.
Probably.
I understand completely that the game in 10 years, 20 years will probably be completely different from the initial game. It's the game of a lifetime.
You see 20 years?
I believe it's going to be something incredible.
I can't wait to people to play the game and see how they like it.
Yes, I want to see people's faces playing the game and discovering everything that we've prepared for them.
Stage is yours, and we just can't wait to see the world that you make of it.
Interesting. I don't know. I appreciate their obvious passion for this. Yeah. Like, they're very passionate about this. I just am skeptical about what they're promising or stating.
Sure.
There is also a interview they did in June. I'm not sure if we want to watch this though. It's up to you.
If you'd like.
It's 18 minutes long. PC Gaming Show 2023. The Osmond go like it.
12th or 13th century Europe, it's a very different reality. You know, it's where knowledge has been lost and it's getting, you know, rediscovered. It's where, you know, magic truly exists and ghosts exist and the myths are real. And this is kind of the inspiration we take to build. It's basically going back to the roots of what fantasy means.
He loves it.
Building a fantasy world based on real world mythologies. And so we go very much into the roots. So we're using a lot of medieval literature and medieval bestiaries and grimoires, using real world magic, actual recipes for healing and ointments, and using the real world magical properties of plants.
I like that they're using history.
Yes,
I'm the chief product officer at Mainframe Industries. So Pax Dei, maybe the way to explain it would be, imagine you're in this amazing, beautiful world. It's huge. And you find yourself in a forest, and your mission is to find a plot for where you start building a home. And from that home, you will go on adventures to explore the world.
Okay, so it's, I think,
and
a plot per
the core
person,
of what you're doing as a
probably.
player. But not only are you building that home yourself,
Yeah, I think you would have to
build
a
a whole
village
village and do the adventures together and improve the quality of life of your clan, to be able to do all of this in this social fashion and really cooperate with other players rather than doing it alone. And seeing other people building similar villages and cities and being able to go to them and trade and do all of the social interaction you ever imagined you would be able to do the game. So with the lore, we have wanted to create something that is fairly like deep and rich and grounded in reality, but something that is actually not a direct copy of like any of the history. So there's multiple types of ruins, there's the dungeons, and you will be able to find snippets of the lore from the eras when these were created in the game itself. And part of the like lore and mystery is also part of in the gameplay itself. So you will be able to like find and examine things and actually then find snippets that help you find other places and make items in the game itself. And the area of the game that you will be able to play when the game launches is, we're calling it Gallia, and it's very similar to the areas of the world in southern France, with the influences from the Nordics where we're from. Development team were mostly Europeans. Obviously, we are living in Europe where there's a lot of culture and lots of historical influences around us. So we're here in this 14th century castle shooting this, and actually I've been coming here multiple times and like seeing the evolution and history of...
And it says ganked while observing mushrooms.
That'd be me, 100%. I just like going through the forest. Look at the mushrooms. Look at the flowers.
In the PvP zoo?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. What? Hello? Have you met me?
Europe is obviously had a massive influence in how we made the game. Where all the items, like all of the nature, is something we actually seen in Europe, and so we want to reflect this very medieval feel in the game.
With building the ideal medieval world.
He's not covering his back with the umbrella.
Fantastical medieval world.
Or does he not care?
It's inspired by real world. The first region we are working with now is inspired by France. We call the region Gallia. And at the time, maybe 13th century, this is a very central point of Europe. So we're very much using the forests and the natural elements of southern France or the Pyrenees currently. And this means that the flora is authentic in the sense of the combination of flowers and wildlife matches. Here we have thousands of years of lore building, which happen in folklore and mythologies and and religions, and we built it straight into the game. If you find something in the game, it is highly likely that this thing actually exists in the real world, and you can read about it on Wikipedia.
Okay.
For example, the legend of the basilisk.
Right, the basilisk.
How do you defeat the basilisk? We're not going to tell you, but there are a lot of folklore about how the basilisk is defeated.
The way we're thinking about the creatures is the we talk about the subjective reality of people.
This game's called Pax Dei.
So instead of trying to mimic Middle Ages as they were, we're thinking about what were the things that people believed
Pax Dei, whatever
in
you
the era, and all of that is real. So the deeper you start to adventure in the world from the safety of your home, the more fantastical things will become. The more dangerous the creatures are you will be experiencing. And we're really, again, like trying to draw from the lore of the Middle Ages. So if you've seen creatures that were believed to exist in the Middle Ages, you're likely to meet at least someone in the game itself.
Cool. Some zoology.
Yeah. And they were also talking about like the foliage.
Same with the costumes
as well, which
we
I
have
also
been
really
researching
like.
Medieval costumes from multiple eras, and we're kind of focusing on the 12th to the 15th century. And we're using the same colors, we're using the dye recipes from that era. But at the same time, it is kind of a cinematic reality. So the armors are, beautifully engraved, and it is, very beautiful things based on real-world items. Because there's an amazing amount of stuff in the real world which is so incredibly well made and beautiful from these times.
And the gear that you're using, we don't have like deep fantasy gear with like fancy spikes all over the armor, as opposed to actually wanting to make something that feels very grounded and real.
Right.
Even if we made something
historically
that is,
accurate,
look extremely beautiful, like a lot more intricate than people would have had in the Middle Ages. So we want to have this level of fantasy and kind of like just awesomeness to everything we're putting into the game, while it all being very grounded in kind of what we've seen ourselves in what Europe is and like what the history of Europe has been.
And we feel that is a lost opportunity in a lot of fantasy games which kind of invent their own visual styles out of nowhere. And this kind of grounds everything together and ties it together in a very meaningful package.
So what we're building is, we're calling it the social sandbox. We're putting the least amount of barriers to entry on how you can actually interact with other players. Where most MMOs actually put a lot of blocks in how you can cooperate with the other players, and we're fundamentally different. So from the first minute when you start playing the game, you will be able to do everything you imagine with the other players. So you can trade, other people can actually help you. You can literally go onto a like dungeon raid from the very beginning of like you're starting the journey.
That's very nice.
In the game. Should you find people who actually...
I really hate the MMOs or games where it's like, you have to spend 50, 60, 70, 100 hours before you can do something fun with your friends that are already playing the game. It's
yes.
Like,
Because then you have to like hope or talk your friends into helping you level, do that grind with you when they've already done it themselves. They don't really want to do it with you, but they also want to play with you because chances are they got you to join. And it's like just that gap, and not like having to like do a checklist before you can get to the enjoyable stuff.
I really like your idea here. Just, hey, if you want to do it, just do it from the beginning.
Just do it,
just do it. I think a lot of companies or game makers underestimate how much, or overestimate how much time people have.
I do wonder if you can just like jump into these things from day one, no grinding, no level cap,
and still,
does combat then scale to your level?
It'd be interesting if for group functionality they could scale it to the lowest level player in the group, maybe. But then that will also create the problem of, oh, it's too easy for the
for the higher players. Yeah,
maybe at the average or somewhere between, or maybe
like a range,
or scale them down while scaling the lower level. I don't know. It's
maybe.
interesting. It's a bold claim too.
Because
oh my god, that's being edited out. Welcome in, Akui.
Thank you. Sound alert.
Sorry,
You know better when we're recording.
No, you're good.
Oh, Anna's on top of it.
Wow.
I'll let
Welcome
Anna
back.
handle it. Oh,
You don't think
good.
there's
Thank you. Now
levels?
you want
That's
to.
interesting. No levels, no level cap. Record this. How's your stream? So we've been covering a lot of stuff.
Thank you, Anna. I
We
appreciate
finished
you.
our Starfield lore hunt. Becca and I've been just watching these new MMOs coming up. There's a zombie survival MMO open world called The Day Before, and now we're looking at some exclusive interview and gameplay footage from the devs at Pax Dei. Pax Dei.
Pax Dei or Pax Dei?
So Deus, you could say Day. You could say I guess the safer pronunciation would be Day. You could say Die.
Mhm.
So anyway, can someone gift a sub to a poor up and coming streamer, his favorite streamer? True. Any gifters? But yeah, we're doing some of this, and we'll cover some ESO stuff at the end of the stream after this.
So, for those of us just joining, they just discussed how there is no level cap. You don't have to be a certain level to join in events. Like from day one, when you join the game, you can do anything the game has to offer. And so we were discussing how that might look when it comes to combat and scaling,
Yeah.
being lower level.
And this game is an alpha, it's MMO, and it has housing, the usual MMO elements, and each player gets a plot of land, and everything has to be player made. Yeah, everything has to be player made. The towns have to be player made, which is like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, here we go. Let's resume.
Environment actually really incentivizes people to play the game the way they like. And for some, actually, like just going out to the wood and like cutting down the forest is something that gives you a sense of achievement, because you know the coal that you're helping to produce actually is valuable for the guild. Some people will absolutely prefer to just go to the dungeons. They couldn't
so
care
there
less
are
about the coal production. But these players as well.
What'd you say?
Guilds.
Guilds?
Guilds.
Guilds.
They'll depend on each other. Where there's valuables to bring from the dungeon, there's valuables to bring from the forest, and even the PvP players, they will be able to produce items that are only available through the PvP, but they will depend on the other players as well. So if you want to help somebody, give them items or like build something together, we always actually like really try to incentivize and like never put anything that prevents people from doing that.
This is what I was talking about earlier, right? With the incentivize systems.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they're talking a little bit more about it. Doesn't seem like it's fully fleshed out.
Right.
And the things we want to achieve with this, the things like when a new player signs up, rather than them being something that for the experienced people, it being very difficult to play with that new player, we actually want that new player to be a very valuable commodity to the existing old guilds. So you actually want to get the new people into the guild because they can help you immediately. So for example, crafting the armors, you obviously need a lot of coal to be able to do the blacksmithing, and a new player can just like...
A new player could just be a coal farmer. Is what I'm expecting you. Once again, what did he gonna say?
That's kind of...
A new player could just spend their 5-hour game session gathering coal.
More to it. Surely he's not just like deciding him as a coal farmer. No.
I think that'd be hilarious if he says it. I'll be like, you know what? I'm signing up. Because I think he'd be honest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so the value of a new player is basically the thing they'll just mindlessly farm for the guild. You know, it's like, okay, well, you're honest. Okay, so let's go back.
Thing. And a new player can just like immediately after signing up, you can get them to your home, give them an axe, show how to cut down the tree, how to bring the wood to a kiln, and that's immediately valuable for the guild as something that a new player can do.
Valuable because you can put it
your workers.
to work.
I fucking knew it. I was like, how would this be valuable as a player? I'm just like, okay, so you give them like, you basically like, it's
you
like a...
You give them tools.
Yeah, and then you basically take them through like an employee training video. Hey, here's how you chop a tree, and here's how you gather coal. It makes sense though, like, whatever, you know? Like, what else could a low-level...
Everybody has to contribute.
Sure.
And you will need to continue to do this even after you've been...
I feel like some games fail. Like some survival / multiplayer games have failed in the past because it makes you feel like a peasant playing them. You know, everybody wants to be the shining knight armor and be the hero.
Yeah.
There have been some games in the past, planned and released, or never finished, that just like makes you work, man. Like who wants to be a medieval peasant for like 8 hours a day or something?
What if like being in nature and chopping down the trees is super relaxing? You did say that's like
I mean that's
one of the highlights of New World.
That is one of the highlights of New World. I agree.
And there's been a lot of people who are like, I really love this aspect of New World, and
I just thought they had like a secret plan, like secret concept that I've never heard of, but it's just like just get them to farm, man. You know, whatever. They can be valuable. They're just workers.
They're honest. At least
exactly. At least they're honest. Exactly.
Mindless resource hunting.
Yeah.
Playing the game for a very long time.
Sometimes, what if there's a sickness? Like they really want to stay faithful to like the Europe stuff, like medieval period. What about disease? You think there will be disease mechanic?
About focusing on the player.
I think it'd be really fascinating if there was.
The hero's journey.
Like, how'd that work? If your character dies of disease, it's gone forever.
To him or her, you know, what choices he makes through the game.
More like
and
you have to
more so than being an individual's
cure.
hero's journey, it's also the journey of, you know, creating civilizations within the game. So you must start by building your homestead, join up with a few people, and you form, you know, a nucleus of village, which then grows into a town and even a city. And then you can, you know, build communal buildings like, you know, market squares, you can build churches, you know.
Hell yeah, let's build churches.
Guild houses. And then you can join up with other cities, you can form baronies, and you basically build civilizations within the game. And at the highest end, you're building kingdoms. And everything is focused on the player, both in cooperation, competition, and conflict. Because we feel that's really where the magic lies in collecting many people playing together, rather than having everybody playing their own, you know, individual story.
I like this guy's.
Historically, endgame is defined as like you first level up, and once you the level cap, the endgame begins, and you start, for example, like grinding for gear. Essentially, in Pax Dei, you start at the endgame. Like we don't have a level progression.
Yes.
There
no
are,
levels.
Like, means of progressing, but we've created this environment where you kind of get to choose the like how to play the game in a manner of like flexibility that you typically find only in the endgame. And the in-game style elements you maybe would find is like once you've been like exploring the world, there's a deep level of just basically politics that you can involve in, because we have the communities building. Somebody's going to need to lead the communities.
Oh yeah.
With PvP, you need to rally your troops to actually go and do things, and you will be able to do things like corner the market in how like people are able to get resources and who are the best crafters. So there's this deep layer of social interaction that we're building into the game, and all of the kind of things where you can be like a master of in the real world, you kind of can master in Pax Dei.
All of our systems tend to focus on this, not only in like clan tools or how the player economy is run, but also creating, you know, positions of power within the feudal system and within the organizations in the game.
So someone's gonna have to be the peasant. I'm just gonna say that right now.
All the positions of power involved.
You know what? I'll be the peasant.
System.
Okay.
24-hour streams of peasant nephews harvesting coal for the guild.
You don't start as a level 1 knight. You become the knight.
Yeah, right.
Hell yeah, let's go.
You don't start as the leader of the guild.
I've always wanted to be a peasant.
You become it. And there's only
like
one
the idea is that everybody starts off the same, and like the original, the beginners.
So one of the things we find so compelling,
right, start together, and they're all pulling their own weight. And then as people come in,
everybody's looking for
the older players, they move up level, and like
because
it's
so much knowledge has been
very
lost, technology has been lost, in the dark
like a
Middle
pyramid.
Ages. People are always in this quest of finding.
But all I know now is I want to be a peasant.
But I mean, you wouldn't be a peasant forever.
I want to be a peasant forever.
Find these mysterious
yeah, right.
I want to be dragged to the town square and executed. Repeatedly.
That's the way to tell a story to the world, but also give you rewards which are.
I would be such a great peasant.
So rather than this being something that you go onto a quest and the quest giver giving you a piece of lore, actually we're weaving it into the gameplay in a manner where you actually are going to be finding it in the game.
Meaning that you might find a magic spell that nobody has seen before.
Oh,
and
that sounds like nice.
About the magical spell that somebody found. So instead of an NPC like force-feeding stories down your
so we
throat,
can go on a quest.
You don't have time to listen to because you just want to get the XP and the gold. Here you actually read books about Loraden because they will reveal.
That's a good idea.
Hidden trapdoors, hidden secrets.
I like that they're not implementing the usual fetch quest bullshit, and they want people to read, unlike some MMOs. I think this is a very healthy game in some ways, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
And because you got to read to find the clues for the magic you need to learn. It's interesting.
Something might happen on a special day or when the stars align in a certain way. And these might be simple things. You might find simple things and discover some magical items or secret door, and you can tell your friends about it. But these can also be very complex things where the whole community comes together to try to solve these massive mysteries.
But it's not only you. You'll be playing in a clan and like building a village, maybe playing like interact with the multiple clans, and all of you will be able to build the knowledge around the world and like find things out. So again, what we have wanted to make is a world where actual knowledge by the players is valuable. And when you go somewhere and find a good spot for a resource, or you might find a recipe that allows you to create a magical item that like other folks like in your community don't know how to make, it's going to be up to you as a player to choose whether you want to share this information or and the information is valuable. And especially on the PvP,
like the graphic fidelity in these static images they're showing is far greater than what I saw in game. I mean, yeah, screenshots will always
advantage over some of the other players.
be better, or cinematics, or in-engine footage.
You play the world, and not the world plays
will look
you.
better.
So you're not somebody's, errant boy running around killing rats. You are the master of your destiny.
Instead, you'll be another player's errand boy.
Do quests.
That's not what they
So
said.
I know, I like the idea though.
Do NPCs.
I want to be an errand boy.
The game is kind of making a contract with you as a player
For another player.
to finish the quest, and it means the game is kind of holding your hand. You will not lose. But in our game, nobody knows if the dragon can be killed or how to kill the dragon, and this might be an incredibly complex thing to solve. And you would not get away with doing stuff like this in a single player game. But when you have the community solving together, like
No, that'd be a stutter.
mysteries, it becomes very interesting and it expands the possibilities on storytelling in amazing ways.
To be fair, that guy was playing on ultra wide.
We're using Unreal 5 as our game engine, and it has some really amazing features set in order for us to build these massive worlds. We have millions of objects, with millions of trees, with millions of flora and fauna that's living and dying and breathing, and you can interact with everything in it. You can chop down trees, you can pick up flowers, you can pick the mushrooms. But what Unreal enables us to do is that it enables us to render this crazy amount of items in photorealistic detail.
And we built a very customizable system where you can mix and match everything together. You can even be wearing a dress underneath the plate armor, or you can mix chain with plate and leather and all kinds of customization options. And of course you can dye your clothes, have different color patterns, different weaves. So we might hide hints or riddles inside actual objects, and these is stuff you can find almost anywhere.
That's pretty cool.
Found on a ring.
You see that?
What does this mean? What
There's
does
like
Zak does
writing
mean?
on the ring. Maybe it's a clue.
Is it is it a hidden password for for a spell? Do you say it at the altar? What does it mean? And where did you find it? So this is a way to trigger storytelling. The interesting thing about folklore throughout the ages is that folklore are actually start out as true stories, whereas fairy tales are fiction, and that's the distinction between the two. Folklore often, handles about ghosts or spirits or some supernatural things, but in the eyes of the people, during those times, this is reality. This is real. Ghosts are real, and this is not disputed as any fantasy. And this is what we want to reflect. So when you're walking in the forest during night, you will find these things. You will find ghosts. You will find the spirits of of the past. And the deeper you go, the more mysterious and strange it becomes.
So you should definitely come to our Discord. We have like huge community. We're giving out content actually periodically there, so we're revealing more and more of the game. You can go to Steam, and we would love you to wishlist the game. That would be amazing for us. But crucially, I think the Discord is the best place to come to and just join the community there.
To get involved in Pax Dei, you should go to our webpage, sign up for the alpha, go to the Steam, and wishlist us there, and join our Discord community, which is ever growing. It's very interesting things happening there, and I'll see you in game.
So, what do you think?
I am very intrigued.
You'd be interested in playing?
Yeah, I think I would.
What part of this intrigued you the most?
I think my favorite part is the fact that they're basing it. One, it's low fantasy, and they're basing it so accurately on medieval times in Europe. I find that portion of history to be rather fascinating, but I love that they're not just like, oh yeah, we're gonna run with this medieval idea and go high fan. They're literally doing deep dive research and using historical landmarks, regional foliage. They are researching armor so that things are accurate, colors, dyes, the potions that they're using. It's literally what we today would call like a home remedy. They're researching things that people actually used during medieval times and using the same ingredients in game to recreate these like health potions and things. I really like that they are being extremely accurate and not just like, yeah, medieval fantasy. Like,
I think the idea of folklore versus fairy tales was an interesting distinction to me.
It is.
Especially from the story. Like, I imagine you are a medieval peasant or whatever.
Right.
You do know or believe that these things have or are existing.
Yeah.
So I like that unique perspective that they offer. But I am looking forward. I'm gonna actually sign up for the alpha. I'm looking forward to becoming a peasant.
I do, and I like the image, the dream that they have for this game, and like the direction they want to go, and the player interaction in the community, and essentially everybody has to do their part in order for your world to succeed. And even then, it's not a guarantee. It's not the same story over and over again where you do this set of quests and in the end, you're the hero, you saved the day, you're the champion. Like, you might fail.
Right.
And I actually really like that.
Yeah, they mentioned it too. Like, you can fail.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Most games, there's like a safety net or there's no consequences.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a peasant. It's a safe occupation.
Okay.